Hello guys, and welcome back to tutorial uh, efficiency squared. Sorry, it's now 8 in the morning, and I still not went to sleep, so that's always fun. But anyways, welcome back to efficiency squared, and next we're going to be looking at the other half of big reactors. Now, you're wondering, when we were over here, I placed this and the reactor wasn't working. Well, that's because this actually does something completely different if you install it into a reactor. If I were to put this into here, you still need 2 reactor access ports, so I'm gonna have to add that over here. I'm gonna add that there, and then eject waste over here. Now, you just created something a little different. What this instead now is a steam reactor, and it will produce steam like crazy. So I'm going to turn it on. Now that it's on, it wants water. To do that, you need to take... I'm going to use an aqueous accumulator because it's the easiest thing in the game, in the world, to just kind of use at the moment. So, and then water. Because you should use Delorium fuel rods to trap water. Oh, that does not work. I'm gonna need actual blocks. Dirt. Actually, what am I doing? Okay, just put that in the ground. Done, 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 done. Okay. Stop dipping around, Michael. Okay, now let's get over here. Get these mechanical pipes. And now we're gonna import water into the system. Now what this does is it starts producing steam. And now we could be using our other cell. Now to take out the steam, I cannot remember how you actually take out the steam from one of these reactors. Could be that you need a second coolant port. I've honestly never used these before. I just know that you can, and that's not going to work over there. Okay, so now that we've broke this thing like 20 times, alright, so that's not how you do it. So how do you... Okay, I forget how you turn off any key bindings, inventory, recipe, user, toggle visibility, 0. Okay, that's good. Now, okay, sets the access port to Outlook, will not accept items from ducts, port will eject ingots to pipes and ducts. How do you get the steam out of it, though? Okay, since I do not know how to do this, I'll tab back to this at the end of the video. I'll probably have to edit a segment in telling you guys how to get the steam out of there. But this does produce steam, and you can get it out. Actually, I might know how you get it out. Hold on. Survival 0. I think I'm just being stupid right now. So let's try a configurator. And let's see if this... No, that just takes the water out, which is not what we want to do. So, okay, this is going to bother me, so... Science. Okay, so those aren't working. Now, obviously it's connecting on the other side, but... Yeah, I am honestly clueless on how... You know what? I think I know. Now I think I know. Am I being stupid? Where is it? Turbine controller, turbine housing, reactor, turbine glass. I almost feel like reactive creative coolant port. I feel like there is probably some type of thing that allows you to get it out. Reactor computer port, redstone port, turbine housing. Okay, now that's all the other stuff, so yeah, I have no clue. I'll figure it out later. Okay, so obviously we can be using big reactors. Now, for all of you that are like, okay, that's a bit too overpowered, there's still other methods of doing power. Now we're getting into the more obscure ones that most people will not know about. So, next we'll look at Mine Factory Reloaded. Okay, so there's, let me /clear. There's quite a few, there's only a few ones that produce power in here, but they still work. So let's go through. Let me try and find all of them. Okay, steam boiler and bioreactor, biofuel generator. Where is it? Where are you? Steam turbine. These are the only 4 blocks in Mine Factory Reloaded that produce power, and both of them are pairs. You need a steam boiler, or you can be using this, which actually, you can either use this. What you would do is make a big reactor and then have it pipe steam into a turbine reactor, which produces a lot of power, from what I hear. But you could also pipe the steam from this into one of these steam turbines, if you really wanted to. Now, this can output 160 RF per tick, which means that it's purely dependent on how much steam you have in your system, which you can do by, I'm going to use blaze rods as fuel because I use it a lot in a lot of my series just because I have a shit ton. Okay, so, and then we need an aqueous accumulator and water. Okay, so we'll do it like this. Put the aqueous accumulator down there. Now it's putting water in there. Now you just need to put your fuels in and it'll start doing work. The temperature is how, well, if anybody knows anything about Celsius, I believe 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point. I believe. Now I need to research this because it'll bother me. Boiling point is... Thanks, Google. You're not helping me here. I don't need a formula to figure out this. You could just tell me. Yes, 100 degrees Celsius. It is 100 degrees Celsius. So, once it hits 100 degrees Celsius, it'll start producing steam. So, it does take a little bit of a pre-initialization to do anything. Now, it might also be that whenever work hits the top, it produces a bit of steam. But it doesn't seem like it. It looks like it needs to hit 100 degrees Celsius first. And then what you would do is just have that go straight to a steam turbine, produce power. I'm not sure how much steam that produces. I would think that the higher the Celsius value is, the more steam it produces. Okay, so next thing, and I use this exclusively in one of my worlds, is the bioreactor and the biogenerator. Now, this is interesting because of how this works. I recommend using this only if you have a huge farm and have a huge surplus of life to use, because how much you can produce can be insane just from this. I powered an entire quarry just with one of this and that. So let's get the required stuff so I can show you how you work this. And then I need a configurator. Okay. Pull out. Okay. So, how this works is if you... I don't actually know if this needs power. I don't think so. But how this works is that you need to get different... You can use just one type of, like, saplings. Saplings are the best thing to use. I think if you put different types, it'll also work towards what I'm going to explain in a minute, so I'm going to spawn in a few different types. And then you can also put in wheat, sugarcane, and you can put in seeds, and a whole host of other things. So, without further ado, let me show you this. Now what you do, just put everything in here. Now, it will start producing... Hi to you too. Now, it will start producing biofuel like crazy. The more different types of stuff you have in there, the more fuel will be produced. And then that'll be pumped into here, which then will be converted into energy. So, now I just need to make a cube, and it's exporting the power into that. And like I said, it makes an actually absolutely insane amount of power. Like, this is producing just about the same amount of power as this little reactor over here is making, and it'll probably last a lot longer than this little reactor would. Will you stop meowing? Okay, so... next thing that we can look at is... Actually, I'm not sure what else we have. I know that there's certain other ways you can do things. Maybe I'll actually go into setups now. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so... Oh, I know what I can do. Mechanism. I said something about them earlier, but I didn't go into them. Now, there is... It's not actually Mechanism that has these. It's a side mod called Mechanism Generators. It automatically generally comes with Mechanism unless you decide not to install it with it. So you generally don't have to worry about it not being in with Mechanism. Shh. No! Stop talking to me. You're not going to stop talking to me, are you? Okay. So, we're going to look and find where to set this. I should probably get the universal cables first. But what we're going to be using is electrolytic separators. We're going to need aqueous accumulators. So let me get that real quick. And then there's multiple different ways that mechanism. There's multiple different things that we can use. All of the things that you can use are... One second. Okay, sorry about that. My brother closed the door to his room so my cat couldn't get any food to eat. Anyways, so we're going to look at the rest of the generators which come with Mechanism. Now there's the heat generator, solar generator, gas burning generator, biogenerator, advanced solar generator, and wind turbine. One that I'm immediately going to throw out, biogenerator. It's not that great. So we're not going to learn about that one whatsoever. Now, first one is the heat generator. These, there's only two ways you can use them. One, you can put fuels in them. I am really sleepy. I'm trying to type lava and I'm typing in leave. Okay. there's two ways you can power them. One, you can put fuel in, and that'll produce power. The second way is that you can put lava near them. If you put lava next to them, they will very, very, very slowly produce power. Very. It might actually have to be directly next. Let's see. Yeah. It has to be directly next to the heat generator, and it will very slowly produce power. Next way you can do this is using the solar generator. Solar generators cost quite a bit, but they produce a decent amount of power. Honestly, I feel like they don't produce enough power, though, so they're not entirely worth it. Advanced solar generators, on the other hand, produce a lot more power, but for their equipment costs, still not worth it. However, there is a note that I will include, which is something not most people know, and that is that if you have these in a desert biome, these would produce about double the amount of power, and in that case, it is much, much, much more efficient. So if you're in a desert biome, I totally recommend using these. Next thing you can do is use windmills. My friend Nicholas, he literally has an entire army of windmills on our server. He uses them exclusively because they are by far the best source of free energy at 384 RF per tick. Now, I believe that does change based on height, which we can check real quick. So, that's 384, if I remember correctly. We'll go up a decent ways. Up here should be fine. 384. Up here it's still 384. It might have to be like high for it to register. But anyways, so I highly recommend wind turbines if you want a good way of producing power. As you can see, time set 0. As you can see, this produces 240. This, it's not even, if it can increase its power, which I think it can if you put it all the way to top. This produces 384, and I'm not sure, but let's see what happens if it's raining. If it changes anything. Doesn't look like it. And let's, environment. Well, that didn't do jack shit for that. But, yeah, windmills are by far one of the better ways to go. Next way is using hydrogen generators. Now, these are generally what you'd include in your mechanism setup, which, if you need to know more about that, go to my other video. I'll put a link to it in the description, and I just accidentally destroyed the energy cable. Whoops. But generally it's part of your setup in thing. The only prerequisite to this is that you will need startup power. So, you'll want to do this, and then if you do this, what you have to do is hook it kind of up similar to this. For each hydrogen generator, you're going to need one electrolytic separator, and then you will need water going into those electrolytic separators. So, let's get some water real quick. Okay, now mechanical pipe. What am I doing? Slash. Get out of here. Okay, so now we need the pipe. Take that. Shut up, sheep. And then just connect these, it will put the water in there, and it will start making hydrogen and oxygen if we give it power, which to do that, all we have to do is put a windmill right there. And it should produce the power to start slowly making hydrogen and oxygen. You can either do this directly and not use oxygen for anything. I highly recommend hooking it up to your ore processing. But just produce hydrogen by clicking over here on the right side, which will start dumping all the oxygen. If you have the purification set up, you do not need to dump all the oxygen from the system. Now you're going to need some more piping so that you can pipe the hydrogen into the gas generators. So get this. Actually, for this you probably want to use smaller ones. And then hook this up. And now you got a self-sustaining system. If I could actually right-click one of these, you'll see that the power is going through, it's being produced, and then it goes back through, and it's just producing power over and over, and you can actually take the windmill out of this, and it'll produce power infinitely. So literally, it will power itself. So this is definitely not exactly producing power, but if you use windmills to power these, then you're producing power from these, which these actually by themselves produce quite a bit. And then, lastly, like I said, biogenerator, just throw out. It's not worth the hassle. Okay, so we'll do another clear. Now I'll show you some of the setups that I commonly do, which they may or may not be similar to what you guys do, but let's get started. Now the first one that we commonly do is I'm going to use my friend Nicholas's and mine, which is using these lava generators and generally or redstone, one of the redstone ones, which, where are they? There it is. So what we do is, instead of going on a wild goose chase for lava, what we do is we get ender chests, which are ender tanks, which are universal storage, and they can store fluids between dimensions. We get one of those, we hook up our pipes to it, okay, so get this, and then we get the amount of power we need. We need another portal. I'm just gonna spawn in the actual, can I spawn in the actual block itself? Nope, I cannot. Although I didn't spell it correctly either. Okay, so I need obsidian. Well, I don't think I need to actually show you, but what we do is we go to the other world, we make a pump, we make it pump the lava from the nether because it's like an infinite lava source. Put it into this tank, make sure that those areas are chunk loaded, because if it's not chunk loaded it will not work, and then it will infinitely pump lava into the system, producing power. Now for this one you'll probably want to set up either a logistic system that always is requesting for these to be filled with redstone blocks / redstone, or you can just do what I do, which is, because of how long the redstone actually lasts in them, just put hoppers on top of them and throw in a shit ton of redstone. Other setups I do is, right now in my world, I use equivalent exchange quite a bit for EMZ, but there's other ways. If we go back to dynamos, you'll realize that there is few extra dynamos in there. Now, each of them I'll show you what they do, and each of them have different properties. Now, for this one, I'm probably going to have to use something else from Bombcraft. So, I have no clue how this works, though, so maybe that's not... We'll try it. Lead Fabricator, I believe, is what it's called. Okay, it just uses normal power, it looks like. So, put that there, and then use that. Okay, so each of these use different fuels. I don't think I'm going to be able to show this one off because I am not good with Botania whatsoever. I am not great with it whatsoever. This one is by far the most dangerous of the three that I'm going to show you. The way you use them is you need to find a node, probably one that is stable would be better, and depending on the essences it will produce power, depending on how rare the essences themselves are. If I get a red matter helmet here, come on, put it on. But you'll see that it's slowly taking out the essence from it, and now it will not, whoops, now it will not output anything because it needs to output its power somewhere. So resonance, energy cell. Okay, so let's just put that next to it. No, that does not work, it looks like. Most dynamos, you have to put what you're putting the power in on top. This one, however, you do not do that with. I don't think. Maybe you do. Let's see. Okay, so put that on top. Okay, no, you still put it on top. I'm thinking. Okay, so this one isn't... I have no clue how exactly it's supposed to work. That's a big node. God damn it, I'm not trying to place nodes and crap, I'm trying to right-click the thing. Yeah, this one is not producing power for some reason. Let me see if hooking it up with mechanism cables fixes it. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think it... Does it output from bottom? Yes, it does. It looks like. Or it's supposed to, anyways. So, let's try doing this instead. And see if this works. I already have completely screwed this up in about 10,000 different ways, so, yeah. This is working perfectly. I don't know why it isn't producing power, but it should be. Now this one, if I remember correctly, what you need to do is you need a jar of some type of essentia. I'm going to use a creative jar just so it spawns an infinite amount. And then, depending on the essentia, if it's rare, it'll produce a lot more, so I'm going to use, I think that's NVIDIA, if I remember correctly. Put NVIDIA in there, get the essentia tubes, and if you connect it, it should be, in theory, producing power. Okay, this is... I hear things creaking. That is never a good thing. You know what, I haven't tried that. Maybe that's why. Okay, so I wanted to put power into that. Time set 0 is a command. Okay, so let's go to this one and hopefully this one works. Those ones are not actually working for whatever reason. Okay, so this one, if you know what blood magic is, you know how this should work. But I'm using a blood fabricator, so do I need to insert a mechanism? I'm starting to think that is not a mechanism cable. I have one right there, that's why. Okay, so power. Oh, this one isn't actually outputting. So now it should be working. Okay, now I need a configurator. This one might actually work. Cross your fingers. Okay, so pulled out. It's putting it into the dynamo. Is it producing power? No, it's not. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe it is with how I place these, or it could be actually. Let's try doing this way instead. See if that fixes it. This is interesting. Very interesting. So why are you not producing power? Do you need a lever, maybe? If so, you just compute. Yes, it... Oh my god. Something so simple. Solution to everything. Oh, it's working now, but it's not outputting the power into this, so let's just do that. Is it working now? Yes, see, it's working now. You know, I think I'm going to cut out the part where I completely failed. Maybe leave a few little pieces of it in. Or you guys could sit here and just laugh at the fact that I failed so hard. Okay, so each of these are producing power. Like I said, I don't know how I'll show you that one. But obviously, each of these have different effectivities. Like this one, I could see it working well if you have an altar that is set up for sacrificing creatures automatically, which then this would work exponentially well for blood magic. This one would be good if you have like a lot of spare of something. I know that if you use primal aspects, it will not work really well. This one, it consumes the primal aspects and a whole bunch of other things. The thing about this one is that it can actually kill nodes, which is not a good thing. So you need to watch for that. But so you have those three things. Now let's see if we can find any other weird little things that produce power. How about we take a look at Draconic Evolution, since I don't really... See, I don't really use Draconic Evolution, so this is going to be another road trip of me trying to figure out why dynamos aren't working. Okay. So let's take this. Index. I know there's at least one, and it has the most simplest name in the world. Generator. So we'll probably look at that in a minute. Just making sure that's the only one. No clue how well this one works, so it could be amazing, but it could be absolute crap as well. Okay, so besides it looks fancy, so let's put, I'm gonna put a piece, let's just use a piece of coal. I wanted to put Eternalis in it, but we'll just use a piece of coal. Okay, so put that in. I'm not sure what this is producing it in, so let's get actually, why am I doing that? Just come over here and plop. Is it empty? No, it is not, but It's at 19.84K right now. So, it actually produced quite a bit of power for just one cool. But I still think a lot of the sustained ones work a lot better than ones like that. Now, I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm hoping that you guys learned a few things and also hope that you enjoyed. See you next time.